Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The honorable judges and friends, let me introduce my team. My name is Tirta Citra and this is
Nur Fatia.
We are the representative of Senior High School 3 Kuningan for this essay competition. In this moment, we will present about the opportunities and challenge of e-learning. Anything in this world always has two dimensions, yin and yang, dark and light, or positive negative side. Likewise, e-learning, it has two sides, opportunities and challenge. As a product of information technology, e-learning has advantage and disadvantage. During COVID-19 crisis, e-learning has become a panacea, Dawan 2020, both for teachers and students, for more extent for parents and telecommunication industries. However, some studies also show the dark side of e-learning.
Well, on the bright side, e-learning enables students to access their learning materials via Google Classroom, WhatsApp, and any other platforms wherever and whenever. It gives students many ways to personalize their way of learning owing to the flexibility of accessing their learning materials. This opportunity leads students to get a new learning experience that evokes their capability to learn. The World Economic Forum reports that evenly, students retain 25 to 60% more materials during e-learning compared to 8 to 10% in face-to-face learning. The flexibility of e-learning leads to personalization where learners can effectively consume their learning materials with their own pace and freely reading, skipping, and even accelerating through their material concept. Afterwards, e-learning also acquires students and teachers to save more time and money due to the transportations, papers, and even clothes that were used in face-to-face learning. It is such a big opportunity where the time that is usually spent on starting and closing the days are now effectively replaceable as extra time to learn and do any more important activities. Moreover, the government has not recklessly decided on e-learning to be one of the alternative ways to carry out learning in the midst of a pandemic like this. The government has been set e-learning to be comprehensive for every learners by guaranteeing them internet data every month to hold their classes and access their learning materials. So, not a single rupiah will be spent on e-learning process. At this point, e-learning is surely efficient and cost-effective.
Now let's discuss about the challenge of e-learning. Students were definitely getting overwhelmed due to the lack of clarity and the flooded information from the internet that used to be called lost on the internet. It challenges students to be able to understand what their tasks are and what the teacher expects them to do. It makes students confused to choose which one information is relevant with their class and assignment. It makes students be afraid to finish their homework and end up procrastinating. The second challenge is, if the government has been comprehensively provided internet data, we cannot just close our eyes to the fact that in some areas, especially in the outskirts of the city, are struggling to serve e-learning. Yes or yes?
Definitely.
The Indonesian Child Protection Commission (KPAI) reveals that 50% of learners outside Java are doing e-learning with limited signal and facilities. E-learning turns out to be a burden for them. They have to take turns using the device with their siblings and have look for a point where they are able to reach a stable internet connection to access and hold their class. The lack of facilities causes a wide learning gap between students in Indonesia. From this point, we can construe there is a cultural lack. William F. O'Byrne developed this term in sociology. This term means culture takes time to adapt with new things, and there will be a gap between those who are adapted and those who are not. In this case, the new things is technology, such as stable internet connection and knowledge about the technology itself. From those small example of technology things, we know that all regions in Indonesia is not at the same level. Daerah 3T, terluar, tertinggal, dan terpencil. 3T area, the area that is left behind, remote, and located on the border, consists by 122 regions of Indonesia. There is where the cultural gap exists in Indonesia. And e-learning is one of the examples that is have a gap between the city and the outskirts of the city, 3D area. When students already feel lazy for normal school, e-learning unfolds their laziness because they think e-learning is not a real school. Then they start to neglect their tasks as students, such as presents and finish this assignment on time. Laziness from students engenders them wanting to quit from school. Mostly they will choose work or getting married. As reported by Caldera News in Lebak, Banten on June 20 and 21, there are 415 junior high school students who quit from school and choose to work or getting married. Based on an explanation from the Secretary of the Education Department of Lebak, Banten, students who quit from school is because they do not want to be a burden for their parents, and this case is not detected from the lack of facilities and support from the parents.
To conclude every point that has been taken, e-learning is surely a double-edged sword. Every opportunities and challenges are interrelated between one and another. The opportunities of implementation of e-learning creates a future to education sector, and we believe the challenges that are posed are solvable by setting the frequency and intensity of using the internet with the enactment of blended and hybrid learning helps to control the bad side of e-learning. That's all our presentation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.